If you're a supplement brand, there is a massive chance you're wasting your real estate on your product pages with boring product images. Let me show you what to do instead. So most D2C brands are obsessing over their creatives. They test 30 ads variations, hire UGC creators, A/B test their hooks, and then they send all the traffic to a product page where the images are just photos of the bottle. And that is the problem. That's a structural leak in your funnel, and it's one of the quieter ones, which is probably why it doesn't get fixed that often. I legit see like majority of brands that I audit doing this. But here's the behavioral reality. Most visitors who will land on your product page will not scroll down, they will not read your product descriptions, and they won't see your ingredients breakdown or your certifications. They will look at your images. That is one of the most important real estates on your product pages, and you just cannot afford to waste them on just some simple, boring, not specific product images that are just showing of your bottles or some lifestyle images of people with your product. Instead, you need to use them to really convey benefits, proof, and many other things that we're going to talk about later in this video. And so after they look at the images, they will either buy, bounce, or check Amazon for a better deal. So you have already spent money to actually get them onto your site, and they just took a look at your images and they left. So like, are you running a gallery so people are like purchasing the option to go onto your site and look at your images? No, you're trying to get them to buy your product. So this fix just isn't more traffic. You need to really go down in depth to actually fix this leak. And yeah, it's making your product images do the job your product description is failing to do because nobody's reading it anyway. Even if you had the best product description, ingredients, breakdown, and I don't know what other sections, you're still going to be behind those brands that are using these banners instead on their product images. So just a quick FYI, the broader point, your image carousel is a real estate that you're already paying for, as I just explained. Every visitor who clicks through from your ads sees those images, and they are always on top of your land or your product page. From the top of your product page, that is the most valuable real estate every single time. So that's images, it's the name, it's like some little description where you're going to show off your value proposition of the product or something like that. And yeah, most of the visitors are just not going to see anything else other than that. The question isn't whether to improve your images, it's whether you want that real estate working as hard as the rest of your funnel, or whether you keep leaving it as missed conversion opportunity while testing new creatives upstream in your ads, obviously. Better PDPs improve conversion rates directly. Improved conversion rates make every ad dollar more efficient. That's what happens when you stop treating acquisition and conversion as separate problems. So, product images are basically ads. Yeah, it's very similar. It's extremely similar, and they can even look very similar. Not only like you have to treat them very similarly, but actually the visuals can be basically the same. So the brands getting this right aren't treating their image carousel as photography showcase. Let me actually put that into bold because I think it's so freaking important. They're treating each image as a conversion asset, the same way they would treat an ad frame or a video sales later segment. Think about it from the visitor perspective. They've already seen your ad, that's why they clicked it, and that's why they landed on your product page in the first place, and they are on fans. They click through, and the first thing they do is swipe your images. As I said before, it's the most valuable real estate. It's on the top of the page. It's the first thing they're going to go through. And in those 10 to 15 seconds, you have a window to answer every single question standing between them and the purchase. That could be benefits, proof, how it works, why is it better, and risk reversal. And all of those things can actually live in your image carousel, and when it does, you're not asking the visitor to do any work. Swiping feels like browsing, not research, and you're meeting them where their behavior already is. So basically what I mean by that is, if you're just putting all of those information like down on the page, like under the product hero section or however you want to call it, The user has to scroll and it feels like doing some work. However, if you put it into those image carousels or like the image banners and then put them into an image carousel, you're basically allowing them to just browse. They're not searching for answers, they're just browsing the images. And also another benefit of all of this is that the browsing is behaviorally very similar to what they did seconds before. Because let's be honest, they were on some social media, they were on Instagram, on TikTok, and what they were doing, they were scrolling. And what are they doing on your product images? They are scrolling again. Maybe not down to top like it was on Instagram. Instead, maybe that is from left to right or right to left, whatever how you want to call it. And I mean, you could also make the carousel to be swipeable from down to top. I don't think I've ever seen that, and I think it could be an interesting A/B test material. However, just basic image carousel is more than enough, and it just gives the user very similar like control, like how they were like few seconds ago when they were on their Instagram scrolling their For You page. And that's why 4 to 6 structured image banners will consistently outperform a well-written product description that nobody reads. Now, the banner framework, don't be scared about the amount. It will go through it very briefly. What each image should do. Not all banners are equal, and the order matters as well. We will get into the order in the next section, I think. So, the outcome banner. This is usually the first image in your carousel. You should communicate the primary result of what the customer actually gets. Not what the product looks like, not the label, not any other boring information, but instead, what does it stand for? What does it help them? So that could be better sleep in 7 days or your money back, which is far more better than just premium magnesium glycinate complex. I cannot even almost read that. Yeah, so give them a reason to keep on swiping, on keep on reading. You should obviously have set up like some auto scrolling on the image carousel, so like every 5 to 8 seconds, depends on how much content you actually got on those banners. Just make sure you give the visitors enough time to read through them before you automatically go on to another one. Next up is the mechanism banner. So how does this actually work? It doesn't need to be technical, but it needs to feel credible. It needs to make sense. It needs to really speak out to the customer and be like, okay, this might actually work. That does make sense what they're saying. A simple visual showing the key ingredient or the reason why it differentiates you from the 40 other supplements brand they have considered. Credibility comes from specificity. My bad. Sorry. The value stack banner. I really enjoy using this one. This is where you lay out everything they're getting. So that means that could include ingredients, dosages, sourcing, certifications. Also, what you can do is value stack everything they're getting from the purchase. So, and you can really play around with this. You can really value stack or like show them what they're getting by including all the benefits that they're getting from using the product, or you can value stack all the gifts that they're getting for their first purchase. If you have a cold offer, you can like show that you get some traveling pack or something. Yeah, like just look at what AG1 does with their cold offer. They have like 5 gifts or something, which bring like the perceived value of their cold offer to like double the amount that you have to pay for it. That's what I mean by that. Next up, the social proof banner. This can be stars, review counts, customer quotes, or you can go for like clinical data. So any studies or if you have some professionals from the field talking about the product, or like the testimonials, or if you have like some doctor or scientist talking about the product and why is it really good and that it really works, it's always a good social proof. Specificity matters more than the format. Again, rated 4.8 stars across 3,200 reviews is harder to dismiss than a generic badge. The differentiation banner, it's similar to the mechanism, which we also said that you can like explain the differences from the other 40 supplement brands. But this is why yours and not the alternatives, a competitor comparison matrix or a frame that shows why the standard approaches fall short. If done well, this handles the objection before it even forms. The customer story banner, again, very similar to the social proof, but this is more customer focused. A single customer result told with enough specificity to feel real. Not I just love this product, but I tried 3 other magnesium supplements before this. This is the first time I actually noticed a difference. So this should be a specific story of a real customer. You can just reach out to your highest LTV customers and just say, hey, we will give you a free month dosage, let's say, if you share your story with us. Yeah, you can do something like this, and I'm pretty sure lots of customers are willing to be doing this and taking part in this. Last one that I'm going to explain here, the risk reversal banner. Close with your guarantee. Most brands bury this at the bottom of the product description where nobody sees it, or in the better case, they are putting it somewhere near the add to cart button, which is absolutely fine. But again, here it just makes sense to put it at the end. Put it in the carousel. It's the last psychological barrier before the purchase decision. And what I actually have in store for you guys is that you can grab my Figma template for all of these banners. It looks like this. Let me zoom in a bit. So here you can see like the outcome banner, mechanism banner in a multiple ways actually. The value stack banner, the proof, so that's like before and after. The mechanism banner again, differentiation banner from some of your competitors, so like your product type in general. Social proof banner, customer story banner, the risk reversal banner, the risk reversal banner again. So you can use these banners, these templates for free. Here's the Figma link in the document that I'm going to link with this video. And just feel free to use them, give these to your graphic designer to recreate them. It can just very easily serve as some foundation for your banners. Next up, the diagnostic layer. Which banners should you prioritize? So this is like pretty much talking about the order of the product of the banners, because they also matter. And I think that you should basically think about the order as a tiny funnel inside your funnel. Why? Because I think they are basically ordered here, like the funnel that I would recommend. But you see, the outcome banner is like more generic. It speaks to all of the customers and it hooks them to keep on scrolling. The mechanism banner basically removes the number one objection. Is like, why should I trust this? Why is this working? Why? Because everybody on the market is going to be saying that, hey, my product is working, and you need to really show some credibility why you are not just lying, straight up lying. Value stack banner is after you remove those objections, you show the value, you show what is the customer actually purchasing, because as you know, they are not just purchasing your product, they are purchasing much more. They're purchasing the emotion, they're purchasing the benefits, the outcomes, the results. Social proof banner, as with the normal funnel, you're trying to show the customer that, hey, we got already thousands of sales, thousands of satisfied customers. Maybe the differentiation banner shouldn't be here. I mean, it depends. It really much depends, because you can just compare yourself with the alternatives, and then it might make sense, but it otherwise can be like between the mechanism banners. The customer story, very similar to the social proof, and the risk also should be at the end usually, because it's like the final nudge, like go and purchase it, you got no risk, we take all of the risk onto ourselves. But what I also want to talk about, this is the part most people skip, and it's where real leverage is. The framework is above is a starting point. Which banners matter most depends on where your funnel is actually leaking. So what you can actually do is also prioritize and put more specific type of banners into your carousels, depending on what you actually need right now. So if you have high add to cart but low conversion rate, that means the visitor is interested, but something is stopping them from completing the purchase. And usually this is a risk or a price justification. So you can prioritize your risk reversal and value stack banners to try to fight this situation here. Yeah. Low add to cart despite good traffic quality. You'll likely have an outcome clarity problem. The visitor doesn't understand why what this product does for someone like them. So like better sleep is just a category. Better sleep for people who wake up at 3 a.m. and can get back to it is a conversation. Like it feels incredibly specific to the customer, and if they are actually having a problem with this, so like they actually wake up in the middle of the night and they cannot get back to sleep, this is speaking directly to them, and you will get much more add to carts. High bounce rate on the first image. That's pretty obvious. Most people leave without swiping at all. They don't even see the rest of your banners. This is a hook problem, not a proof problem, so you should fix your outcome banner before touching anything else. If you have a good conversion rate but low AOV, people are buying, but they are buying the minimum. Your value stack banner isn't doing enough to make bundles or subscriptions feel obviously better. The perceived value of upgrading needs to be clearer earlier. I mean, this depends on your strategy with your product. If you have just a single product and you don't offer bundles, I think you're missing out on a lot of potential with your AOV. However, as I said, it depends on your strategy and with your business plan. So you don't need to build all 7 banners and hope for the best. You can just find where the drop happens and fix that gap first. And that's basically it. So if any of this resonated with you, I run 30-minute discovery calls for brands who want a second set of eyes on their funnel. And I need to really tell you that this is not a sales call, this is a working session. We'll go through a live audit of your site together, so that includes your images, your offer structure, your product page, your funnel in general, and I'll tell you specifically what I would change and why. You'll walk away with actual observations that you can act on regardless of what happens next. There are no pitches, no decks, no pitch decks, no pressure on the call. It's a working session. And at the end of the 30 minutes, if it feels like there's something worth exploring together, we can schedule a second call to talk specifics. If not, you still got a completely free audit of your funnel from someone who does this every single day, and that's the whole deal, nothing else. There's no strings attached, no emotions. If you don't want to continue this or don't want to explore further, it's completely okay. So if you're doing 250K plus per month on paid traffic and you're curious whether your offer and your PDPs are working hard as your ad spend, the link to book is below. I will put it in the document. I forgot to edit. I just finished the document and couldn't wait to get into the video. So I will put it at the end of the document here. I will also put it in the description and everywhere you can find. So that's it. Thank you for watching and bye.